I used to believe that the more hydration and moisture I give to my skin, the better and healthier it would get. Instead, my skin slowly becomes dull, congested, and unbalanced with more irritation and breakout. For the longest time, I couldn't really figure out what's going on. It wasn't until I went on my skincare reset journey that I realized something we don't really talk about. There is such a thing as over-moisturizing your skin. So in today's video, I'd like to share with you my personal experience of what really happened when I over-moisturize my skin, signs I have ignored, and how I'm treating it now. Let's get right into it. First of all, we gotta understand what over-moisturizing is. In simple terms, it's basically mean we use more moisturizer than our skin can handle. When we overload our skin with too many moisturizing layers, we actually interfere with the production of the skin's natural oil because the skin is used to being covered. That hydrated look is actually just built up and trapped moisture underneath. It's basically like you over-watering plants and eventually the roots cannot breathe. How it all started for me is that since I turned 30s and I have moved to a different cities, my skin just feels rough, dry, and dehydrated all the time. So I thought I just need to give my skin even more moisture and hydration. That's why I started adding a thicker moisturizer during the day and more serum to compensate for that dehydrated feelings. Also, another sleeping mask on top of everything at night to make sure I seal in all of the moisture and hydration that I put into my skin. At first, my skin actually looked so good. It was so dewy, hydrated, so alive and bright. And I thought I was successful at finding what worked for my skin, which is something that I struggled for a very long time to put together a perfect skincare routine for my skin. I kept going on with that. I was layering on even more milky toners, heavier serums, more barrier repairing moisturizers in hope that I can keep that perfect dewy looking skin. However, my skin started to show signs of barrier dysfunction. My skin was feeling even more dry and dehydrated no matter how many products I was using. And I have to reapply the moisturizer in the afternoon to help my skin starve off from that dehydration. Then I started breaking out even more along my chin and other parts of my face that I didn't really break out from before. It was really red, inflamed, and itchy, which is something that I have dealt with before. I just thought that was a normal breakouts for me, but it took months to make them go away. And I never really know what was causing that. I thought it was because of the new products I was trying, but even with eliminating all of the new products, it didn't quite help. And then my skin got more dull, and that just made me pile on even more because I thought my skin was needing more hydration and moisture, which is a big mistake because my skin feel like it couldn't breathe anymore. So I did dial back a little bit, but my fear of the skin being dehydrated and irritated just kept me going strong. And it was until too late that I realized my skin was actually suffocating from all of the skincares that I have been putting on. So what are the signs that I have been ignoring up until this point? And my skin been trying to signaling for me, and I'm always proud of myself for being a good listener of my skin. Apparently, in this case, I was so wrong. The first sign that I had was that my skin was looking very shiny and appeared to be hydrated, but underneath it was feeling really dry. And this is what has baffled me for so long because I put in all of the moistures and hydration that I could find in my skincare routine, and my skin was still not happy with it. If you remember in some of the videos, I keep mentioning that my skin has been so dry and dehydrated that no matter what I do, I can't seem to make it feel satisfying. And this is one of the first signs that I ignored for so long. The second sign is that my skin was starting to feel more oily on the T-zone. I don't think I feel this for the last 5 years or so because I used to have more of a combination skin, but it was transitioning more to dry skin, so I don't really have an oily T-zone anymore. The niacinamide in a lot of the products I was using actually helped really well with the oil regulation. I didn't even think about the oiliness of my skin as a sign. But then I start to notice I was producing a lot of oil, especially right here, and I can actually wipe off a light layer of oil. I thought it was just the dehydration kicking in and making my skin more oily. No surprise at all, I slapped moisturizer right on top of it. That is my second mistake with that second signs my skin was giving me. As the skin become more suffocating, of course, my pores was clogged and getting more congested day by day, which all leads to my series of breakouts and painful pimples all over the face that I was trying to treat so hard with basically any acne treatments available to me. I would be alternating between them just to make those go away as fast as I can. I didn't even think that it was another signal that my skin was telling me, hey, you gotta slow down and take a break. I just keep on pushing, and I think I pushed my skin a tad too far this time. My skin was so red and inflamed for a very long time. The next sign that I start to notice is that I had fungal acne along my hairline, which is something that I had never experienced before, even though I had so much breakout. But generally, I don't break out along here. And it's all of the closed comedones that don't really come to the surface so that I can get them extracted. I noticed they keep popping on more and more as the time go on. I had to look up to know what it is. I started to treat it. It does start to go away, but it would come in waves. So that was another sign that my skin was telling me about what was going on. The last sign that I had was very recently. I would notice that my skin become dull, uneven, and dark looking. So when you trap too much moisture underneath, it slows down your natural exfoliating process where your skin just naturally sloughs out the dead skin cells. That's why it leads to uneven and dull texture of the skin. All of these signs just point to the disruption of your natural skin barrier. When I realized all of the damages that have been done to my skin, I decided to reset everything, starting with cleansing. I used to have so many cleansers in my bathroom, at least 10 that I have on my vanity right now to test and alternating between them. But I decided to scale back and use really gentle and simple cleansers. The Aveeno Calm and Restore Oak Gel Cleanser. This is my absolute all-time favorite cleanser. I also pick up the Vanity Cream Gentle Cleanser. That would be really good for reactive skin. The second thing that I do is to stop with the multiple moisturizers. I basically just went back to basic, only using the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm for 2 weeks now. I use it both day and night just because this is the only moisturizer that I know for sure wouldn't break my skin out further or have any allergens in there that can trigger more irritation for me. But on my neck, I'm using something a little bit lighter during the day, which is the Purito Mighty Bamboo Panthenol Cream. This is also another barrier repairing cream that I have discovered recently and come to love so much because my neck skin doesn't like thick moisturizer during the day. That's why I use this one, and it has been calming to the jaw area so much. Surprisingly, with reducing everything down to the basic, my skin doesn't feel as dry as I thought it would be. I was literally so worried that my skin would feel so dry like a desert. I couldn't survive with just one moisturizer, but apparently my skin didn't need that many. I was fine with those 2 moisturizers for my face and my neck. Lastly, I also avoid layering too many skincare at this point. I only have my Amphron Mugwort Essence as my toner step, and then I would go in with my beloved VT PDRN 100 Essence for that extra nourishment and barrier care. That's basically what I have been using for the last 2 weeks. And the result, my skin has started to feel so much better and can now balance itself. The hydration also getting back to normal for me. I have so much less irritation and redness on the skin that I even surprised at myself because I took out all of my acne treatments and spot treatments, but I think just simple moisturizer would do the job. At this point, you might be wondering how much is too much moisturizing. There is no correct answer here. It really depends on individual skin needs. Some people, they can layer on multiple moisturizers and their skin are fine, but others, they just need one moisturizer and their skin can be glowing as well. When you're doing everything that you can and your skin's still not where you want it to be, maybe just give your skin a little break. Sometimes it just needs room to breathe a little bit. The most important lesson that I have learned from this is less is more. I hope this video can be helpful to you and maybe you learned something from this to help your skin as well. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. And remember, take care of your skin, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!